and consistently maintains a 90% win rate over the past several years. Remarkable. He takes all of his trades in his live trading room and sends them via his Compass Alert service via SMS text. His calm and confident demeanor lends to a trading environment that is truly stress free. Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the SPY Super System is Mr. David Wise of Right Line Trading. Welcome back, David. Welcome.
Hello, Rory. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And I want to make sure everybody can see my screen and hear me.
Yes, we could see your screen and hear you.
Excellent. Okay. Well, listen, thanks, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming to the presentation today. Listen to Mark. Nice, great presentation on credit spreads. Credit spreads, call credit spreads, a very solid strategy as credit spreads are. It's really a kind of a fairly stress-free way to make income. So anyway, my name is Dave Wise, and I'm obviously with Right Line, and we're going to be talking about a few things here today. We're going to be talking about what's called the SPY Super System, which I use a couple of pieces of software to develop and to use, and we're going to be talking about my text alert service. I have a text alert service, and I have a live trading room, which I trade in 5 days a week, from market open to market close. That's not normal. Most places only trade for a few hours or several hours a day. I'm there from 9:15 till about 4:15 every day, and I do take all the trades that I call out in the room. I take them on myself. So again, let's get started here. Again, I need to do the disclaimer first, as usual. All the signals and trading opportunities we provide are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, so by the way, if you have any questions as we go through this, I'll try to monitor the questions if I can. But if you have any questions or you're interested in talking maybe to Rory or getting a little bit more detailed information, please put your name and number in the Skype, but in the chat box or in the question box, or your Skype username, and Rory will get back to you and answer any of those questions. Anything you have questions on during the presentation, I will make my best effort to answer those for you. All right, so again, the SPY Super System is what we're going to be talking about today, and how we get to that. Basically, the critical thing with this Compass system and another system called the Dominator system is we're tracking institutional money flow, and this is the critical portion of being able to make money doing trading, day trading, swing trading. It's really important to know what the institutions are doing, and I'm going to go into how we do that. And again, this is the text alert service. This is what the text alerts look like when they come to your phone. They come from David Wise Alert Service. It's going to give you all the information you need about the trades that we're taking, and I'll go over the exact format for that here in just a bit. First thing I want to do is just quickly, I want to just cover about the market. What makes the market move? There's millions of us here, retail traders. We're these little marbles here. There's millions of us. I'm a retail trader. I suspect everybody else in the room here is a retail trader. And we cannot drive the market. And when we're trading and the institutions aren't, it's just chop and chaos, and it's just you don't want to be involved in that. You're just going to get chopped to bits. Now the big marble here, this is the institutions, and this is where the money is that drives the market. And the institutions can move the market any way they want to. If they want to drive it down, they can do it. If they want to drive it up, they can do it. And the key for us is to understand if they're in there now or if they're not in there right now. And these are people like Goldman Sachs and HSBC Bank, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and all hedge funds. There's tons of hedge funds. They have millions and billions of dollars that they can use. Union funds like police unions, etc. They have retirement funds that they use. So you can add to that mutual funds, T. Rowe Price, Vanguard. All of these big institutions are what drives the market. And this is what we try to find and to identify to let us know whether we should be in a trade or not. So keep that in mind. This is what drives the market, and this is what we're going to be looking for. This is what the compass system and the analysis that I do in the room and the trades that I send out, this is what's creating those trades. This is why we take them, because the institutions are in there, and we're basically just trying to follow them, because you're never going to make any money off the institutions. If you think you're going to be able to beat the institutions, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's not going to happen. We take money from other retail traders who don't have as much information as we do. That's how we make money. We have that by having the best tools and take the money from the other retail traders. It's kind of harsh, but that's how the market is. All right, so I just kind of wanted to show a couple of slides on the SPY. This kind of shows what the SPY has been doing. I've got a couple of slides on this since the 1st of November. We've been up in a pretty nice bullish move here, nice bullish run. This is a couple of weeks ago. It moved up very nicely to this resistance level I had here. And then it broke through that resistance level and moved up again to even a higher level. Now this 479.98 right here, that's the all-time high in the stock market, and the S&P 500. That's the all-time high, and we're getting pretty close to it. We got pretty close yesterday, and we pulled back pretty dramatically. If you were in the market yesterday, you saw that big pullback yesterday afternoon. A lot of people panic when that happens. And one of the things we talked about in the room yesterday was to not to be watching your P&L when that happens. Panic selling is a bane to anybody who wants to be a consistently profitable trader. Profit selling, panic selling, panic buying. Both of those go against you. You want to be much more disciplined and methodical than that. So that's the SPY right now. And again, we're in a bullish setup here. The market's moving up higher. We are going into the holiday season, so it's going to get a little slow here for the next week. But our positions are, most of our positions are out now to the mid to late January. We're waiting for the market to continue up, and we want to give ourselves plenty of time. All right, so, and again, this is the SPY that we just looked at here. This is what the compass system looks like. If you've not seen the compass system, this is the compass system on thinkorswim. I have it loaded on thinkorswim. And what we look for here is these indicators here. We've got, these indicators are all green. We're looking for green and blue for bullish and red and yellow for bearish. This is a daily chart on the SPY, and you can see the compass system has been telling us for a long time that the institutions are buying. The market's kind of chopping around, but the institutions are in there buying. So this is what the compass system looks like, and I'll go over some more details of this as we get into the compass system. Now, the things we do, the strategies we use in my options room, and obviously the alert service, because anything that goes out on the alert service has been discussed and called out in the trading room as well. It goes to the alert service and to the trading room. We do obviously straight calls and straight puts for options with different expiration dates on those. I use debit spreads using weekly options expiration. And I should mention that every strategy that I use, as well as the indicators that are on the compass system and how to use them, inside my room, you have videos on all of those. I've done 30-minute videos on every single strategy we use, and all of the indicators on the compass system and the dominator system, and how you can use those to find what's called the highest probability trade setups. That's what you're using. So we do straight calls and puts, debit spreads using weekly options. Weekly expiration. I do what's called time spreads over earnings. These are basically called calendar spreads. These are non-directional trades. We only do them over earnings when the criteria is correct. And what it does is captures the volatility crush when the earnings comes out. Earnings, the premiums on the options just before earnings get jacked way up high because the market makers don't know which way the stock's going to go and how far it's going to go. So they move the options way up to protect themselves. Our job here is with these time spreads is to take advantage of that option crush when the options come out. So we don't really care whether the stock goes up or down. We just want to catch the volatility crush. Got another strategy called the weekly ATM strategy to capture premium. And this is kind of like credit spreads, except that what we're doing is we're actually selling puts every single week. Just as a credit spread, you're actually selling a put and buying a put with the same expiration date. What we do is we sell puts and then we buy a longer dated put further out in time. 6, 8, 10 weeks out in time, so that we can keep selling puts against that long put every single week and just keep bringing in premium week after week after week. And again, the criteria is critical that we use. It has to be done on the right stocks, but it's a great way to capture premium week after week after week on a stock that's going sideways or going just slightly going up. And I also do credit spreads to capture premium over a few weeks. This is also we did one recently on Goldman Sachs, and we did one at McDonald's. Had a couple of nice premiums we captured over that. And then the last one is the SPY Super System. This people are very interested in that like to try to SPY the Qs. This is for very high probability trades to catch those SPY moves. I don't send these out on alerts because they're too quick. These trades are done intraday. They typically only last 2, 3, maybe 4 candles, 5-minute candles, and then we're out. And there's a very specific setup that we use using the Compass system for institutional trading, and the system we use called the Dominator system, which tells us if the market internals are also aligned with the Compass system at the same time. And I'll go over that briefly here in just a bit. All right, now this is just a gross P&L of the last 90 days of trading, right off of my platform. And we'll go. I don't really want to brag about that. And this is the Compass Options Trading Room. This is some of the results we've had. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the results that I've had with the Compass system and the Dominator system and in the room and on the alert service recently, and just kind of show you what to expect. Because again, you're not going to get 100% win rate. My win rate runs between about 85 and about 92% month after month. Generally speaking, between 85 and 90%, 92%. This was March through June. This is like a group I put together, and we had pretty nice run here. This and what I'm saying here is if you invest $2,000 in each trade, so if the options would cost $1, you'd buy 20 of them. If they cost $2, you'd buy 10 of them. But I'm just using this as a base. Everybody uses different amounts. I don't even put the same amount into each trade, depending upon what the market's doing. But if you invested $2,000 in each trade, this would have been what you produced in profits each one of these months. And these are the win rates that produce those profits. And you can see we have some losses, 37 wins, 6 losses, 86%. But it pretty much stays within that rate. Sometimes it'll go a little higher, sometimes it'll go a little lower. Depends on what the market's doing. We can't control the market. Our job is to follow the market and follow the institutions and take advantage of it. You notice that we had a higher win rate here in April than we did in March, but we made less money, and that's because we couldn't stay in the trades as long because the market was too choppy. So we had to cut our profits down, and but still, that's all in all about almost 30,000 in that period of time was pretty nice. And these I specifically listed some trades for September, October, November, so you can see what to expect. I don't want people to think that you're going to be getting 100, 200, 300, 400% wins, because you get these emails all the time about 500% win rate, 1,000% win rate. Listen, those numbers are absurd. You can't do that day in and day out. You can't do it consistently. If you want to be consistently profitable, you've got to be very disciplined, and you're not going to take those kind of profits, because your risk has to be way too high to do something like that, and your win rate is going to be extremely low. But in our case, you can see here, these are September trades. This was a UPS, 23%, AI, 43%, 16% on Lilly, 5% on Square, 32% on Amazon. So you can see what we have here, and the percentages stay around the same. We do get a nice 108% gain in STX. That's pretty unusual for us to have 100% gains, because a lot of the trades we've been taking up until just recently we haven't been able to swing them very long, because the market has gone from bearish to just choppy, and we can't stay in trades longer. Now, as we stay in trades longer, if the market stays bullish and continues to trend up, we'll be able to stay in trades longer, and these percentages will go up from here, but they're not going to go up to 200, 300%. You may see a lot more, 50, 60, 70% wins. But and again, we had a couple of losers here. We had a firm at 86. We had Amazon on a news event that knocked it down 100%. But generally speaking, you can see what our win rates are. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35%. That's normal. And we did have 25 wins and 2 losses in September. A 92% win rate. $2,000 invested in each trade produced $7,788. And these are the trades I called up the room and alerted trades. And this was October, 24 wins, 4 losses, so 86% win rate, $4,480 profit. You can see the losses we took here. This was a time spread that we lost money on. We don't lose on too many time spreads, but we did lose one on there. But again, General Mills, 32%. Hershey, 23%. Moderna, 33%. So you can see in the 20-30% range. Now, most of these trades are going to be either intraday. We get in the same day, in and out the same day. Those percentage gains are going to be a little bit lower because I usually take them off at 20 to 30%. Overnights will sometimes produce a higher win rate, not higher win rate, but a higher percentage gain. So this is what we did in October. And again, you can see we had 10% in McDonald's, 43% here in Restoration Hardware, 12.5% in Abercrombie and Fitch, and XPEV up 12%, AXP time spread up 28%. So this is what you can see. This is what we produced, and these are all the trades we did in October. And this was our November trades, which we just wrapped up here a couple weeks ago. 21 wins, 4 losses, 84% win rate, but $5,160 profit. And again, we had some losses. You can see that our Roblex was a tiny loss here, 1.2%. But pretty, again, it's a put credit spread here. We're up 25%, 20% on Goldman Sachs put credit spread. There's an ATR strangle. This is another strategy that we use from time to time. That was up 30%. But again, you can see the consistency in the percentages that we make here. It's not going to vary a lot. This is what you can expect. I want to be transparent in these so that you're not expecting massive 3, 4, 5, 600% gains. But if you're taking 10 to 20 to 30% on every trade that you do, and you're getting 85 or 90% win rate, you're going to have a really nice gain in your portfolio. And these are some specific trades that I put in here. That these are these were alerted trades. These are trades that I sent out through the alert service. We did one on here in Crowd, getting at 690, out for $8 the next morning. That was an overnight trade. Again, that produced $330 profit. STX ended for 370, out for 770. This is the 108% profit one that I showed you. Again, we were in one day, we held it overnight to the next day, through that overnight the third day, and we get out, so we're in it for 2 days for a 108% profit. Amazon here, we were in this trade for just 2 hours. This was a quick trade, in for 315 a contract, out at 415, 32% profit in 2 hours. So that's pretty nice. We don't know, when I take a trade, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to hold it overnight, but any trade that I take can be held overnight. The whole point is I line up my daily charts and my 5-minute charts so they're always aligned. If I'm going long on a stock off of a 5-minute chart, then the daily chart has to be bullish too. And the reason that's important is if I take a day trade, I get in and get out the same day. Folks that are under PDT are under, they can't trade but three day trades a week. They're what's called pattern day traders, PDT. They can hold these trades overnight if they are not able to take them off the same day. But also the credit spreads and weekly ATMs and the time spreads that I do, those are all overnight trades. So all of those can be held overnight, and those then don't go against your number of trades if you're under PDT rules, under pattern day trader rules. Here we have BNTX in at 81, out at $1.21, 50% profit. This was in the afternoon, out the next morning. A lot of trades like that. Run in at 33, out at 43 the next morning, 30% profit. So these are trades that I sent out on the alert service. There's some more of them right here. Bristol Myers, 31% in at 165 out of 195. And again, I'm using the dollar gains here based on $2,000 invested in each one. You obviously don't have to do that. You can do it. You can do 500. You can do 1,000. You can do 10,000. But I just want to have a baseline so we can see how this stacks, how each month and each trade stacks up against all the others. And this was, I wanted to put this Etsy. We had a loss on this. 690 out for 225. We were in the several days, never turned on us. It never turned against us enough to get out, but it never really went anywhere, so we took a loss on that. Okay, so let's talk about the alert service. The alert service, we call it the Compass Options Alert Service. And who's it designed for? It's designed for day traders and short-term swing traders. Obviously, when we're not an investment business, we're doing for day trades and short-term swings. Short-term swings can be anywhere from overnight to 2 weeks. That's what I consider a short-term swing. It's designed for traders who can't watch the market all day, and that's a lot of people, but they'd like to be able to participate in the market, and that's why I send out alerts to them so they can see what we're doing. And the real-time alerts are going to be done on only the highest probability trade setups. I look for only the very highest probability trade setups. What I say in the room is we're going to trade the best and we're going to skip the rest. We're only looking for the very highest probability trades. So we're not taking scores and scores of trades. I didn't take one trade today, not one trade today in this market. We've got quite a few on, but I didn't take any new ones today. But if the market is could be anywhere from 0 trades a day to 1 or 2. So if you're on the alert service, you might get 1 trade a week, you might get 5 trades a week. It depends on the market, only when we can find the highest probability trade setups. And how do we find these highest probability trade setups? Well, I'm going to go into a little more detail, but what we look for is we look for trades that our institutions are in. We're looking for institutions that are driving the trend. If the institutions are driving the trend, then they qualify for us. I only want to be in trades with the institutions. I don't want to be in trades with all the retail traders. I'm not interested in that. So we're looking for institutional involvement. And then I also use another piece of software called Dominator to look for market internals to see what the market internals are. When the market internals and the institutions line up, that gives you even a higher probability of success. And then I go into technical analysis to find the very best of the very best. In fact, in my webinars training library that I've got, I have one that's called the Top Gun, and it basically runs you through. Once you find a high probability trade, look using the Compass system and knowing the institutions are in there, then I break it down to find the best of the best. So if you've got 4 or 5 stocks that are really looking good and institutions are in them, then we go through the technical analysis used to find the very best of those, and those are the ones we trade. All right, so the alert service, we alert by SMS message, as Rory said, and again, trade the best, skip the rest. So when you get an alert, it's going to include obviously the stock symbol. It's going to include the option strike price. It's going to include the option expiration date and the price to pay for the option, either a specific price or a little range, like $1.05 to $1.10, something like that. But that's what you'll get, and they come pretty quickly because I'm signed in the alert service, so I get the alerts that come to my phone, so I can see how quickly they're coming, and I get the alerts in less than a minute. I'm on Verizon, but I get them less than a minute. Now, the original trade, when it comes, may have a sell price in there as well. I may have a profit target that you can, once you get filled, you can go ahead and put the profit target on. But more likely than not, I'm not going to put a sell price on there when you get the first alert. I'm going to send you another alert with a price to sell it at, because I want to watch the price action for a while. I want to see if we're going to try to get out of it today, or are we going to keep it overnight, or are we going to keep it 3 days? And I don't know that till I watch the price action. But once I've decided what we want to take for profit, then you're going to get an alert that's going to tell you what to sell the stock at, what to sell the option at. And when you get that alert, you want to put the trade into your platform as good till canceled, so that when if it doesn't get filled that day, it's working the next morning, so that if the market moves up in your direction on that particular stock, you'll take advantage of that first thing in the morning and get filled on it. Now, I do look at the price action pre-market, and if I feel like a stock is moving faster than what I thought it's moving in our direction, I'll send out another alert prior to the market open to let you know to move that profit target up if the price action requires that. All right, so again, those are pretty good results. I think pretty good results. Those are great results. We really have really good results in the room and on the alert service. But how do we achieve these results? We're able to identify when institutions are driving a trade and when the market internals are heavily bullish or bearish. those two things together give us a very high probability trades. Now, I say here when both of those trades are in our favor, or both of those criteria are in our favor, allowing us to align our trades with the institutions in the market, we'll take those trades. But I will take trades when the institutions are in there, as long as the internals are neutral. I won't take a long trade if the internals are bearish, but I will take a long trade if the internals are neutral and the compass system is telling me the institutions are in there. I'll take those trades because they don't line up. You don't get as many trades if you have both of these line up. So we'll talk about that a little bit here in just a minute. So again, the compass system identifies stocks that are being moved by institutional buying or selling. And again, so therefore it also identifies stocks that do not have institutional buying or selling moving them, so we can avoid those stocks. And that's really important. Avoiding losers is really, really important. I mean, that's to me, that's more meaningful than taking a winner, because there are so many stocks that you could take that end up being losers, and we can sidestep those. That is really, really important. And the other system we have is called the dominator system, and this displays market internals, and it produces buy or sell signals when the difference in the number of stocks moving on up volume and upticks is greater than the stocks moving down and down volume and down ticks, much greater. In other words, you want the stocks moving up on up volume and upticks to be like 600 or 700, and the stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks to be like 100. So when there's a big disparity between the buys and the sells, then we're going to get buy signals or sell signals on the dominator system. And when those signals align with the compass system, which now we know that institutions are in, that gives us a very high probability trade setup, especially if we have the market in our favor, generally speaking, in a trend. And so this is just kind of a blurb on the institutional money flow. The combination of the dominator and the compass system is what make the cornerstone of the success we're having, because we're able to identify institutions that it gives us a huge edge over other retail traders. They don't have this information, and you know, you can use volume, you can use relative strength, relative weakness, and I do use both of those. But most 99.9% of traders don't have the compass system. They don't know what we know about the institutions being in there. So we get, again, our well-informed decisions over the highest probability trades, probability of success. Those are only that we're going to take. All right. Now, the compass system, how does this identify when there's a trend, when the institutions are in there? Well, we do what's called a triple screen assessment. Okay, triple screen assessment. Triple screen assessment is a fancy way of saying fractals, or basically multi-time frames. We're looking at multi-time frames, and we're looking at three different things. We're looking at momentum. We're looking, and this is really important, we're looking at momentum. We only want to be trading stocks long that have momentum. We want to trade when that momentum is in our favor. We also want the trend to be in our favor. And the third thing is money flow. We want the money flow to be also positive in our direction. Now, the way it does this is it looks at the momentum, and I'll show you how that looks on the compass, but we're looking at the momentum across multiple time frames. If you've got the momentum that's moving up, is bullish, for example, on 3 different time frames, and you get the trend in the same direction on 3 different time frames, and you get the money flow moving in the same direction on 3 different time frames, and these are all aligned, that gives you such a high probability that the institutions are what's moving that trade right at that point in time. And the compass system is what allows us to identify that. The market internals, which is a dominator software, which we're going to show, and I'm going to show some charts of these so you can see this in action. The dominator looks at the internal market internals for 5 indexes. Looks across the Dow, the New York Stock Exchange, the Triple Qs, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the SPY, and the Russell 2000. So it's looking across all 5 of those indexes. And it analyzes the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus the number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. It looks at that across each one of these indexes, and then to develop a signal, it takes the quantity of all of the internals for all of the indexes and takes a look at the overall stocks moving up versus stocks moving down. And that's how it determines a buy signal or sell signal. And the reason this is important, you can have the Dow, which is only 30 stocks. You could have 25 Dow stocks moving up and 5 Dow stocks moving down. That's a pretty strong move in the Dow. But what if the Russell 2000 is got 500 stocks moving up and 1,500 moving down? These things don't align at that point. The Dow is strong, the Russell's weak. You're not going to get a buy signal in that situation. So that's why we look at them across the board. And again, when there's a large disparity of stocks moving up versus stocks moving down, the software is going to create a signal, and we can then use that in conjunction with the Compass system to identify even higher probability trade setups. And this is important, and I'll show you this on some charts, how we did this. All right, so let's take a look at some charts of recent trades, and I want to show you some examples of these highest probability trade setups. These are the ones that we'll be calling out of the room. These are the ones that go on the alert service. These are the ones if you're own the software, you're going to be able to see yourself. All right, so this was McDonald's. This is not that long ago. We did this McDonald's overnight trade, and we got in for 8:30 and out at 11:30. This is a daily chart, the Compass system on a daily chart for McDonald's, and you can see the green here, green and blue. This is bullish, so we can see that during this whole period of time right here, the institutions were buying McDonald's, and we could see that they were moving, buying McDonald's. And we could have chosen to get in right here anywhere, but we don't do that. What we do is we wait for an opportunity to get in at what we consider a support level and a breakout. So you can see here that the Compass system produces what's called a dynamic compression zone. You see this shaded area. This is a compression zone that the Compass system produces. It also produces these arrows here. This pink arrow is what's called a pop out of the box, or what we just call a pop signal. These pop signals tell you when compression is being broken to the upside or be blue or to the downside. So you can see the stock breaking out of this dynamic compression zone with a pop signal. All the indicators are green here. This is multi-time frame momentum. This is current time frame momentum. These are the two critical ones. This is the longer time frame trend. These are all critical and they're all green. So we know the institutions are in there. So what do? We went ahead and bought it right here, and we held it overnight. We just held it overnight. We went from 8:30, got in at 8:30, and we got out for 11:30, a 37% gain overnight. And again, we get here in the middle of the afternoon, get out the next morning on this move, and took a 30% gain. And this is what we see, and this is what we look for. We're looking for the institutions in there, and we're looking for the proper setup technically to buy these positions. So that was McDonald's. This was Moderna. This is one we took for another daily chart here. So we're looking at the daily chart. This was a 33% gain here. This is where we get in right here on Moderna. You can see that it's compressing here. Notice we've got red and yellow. The institutions are selling this. They're telling you very clearly that they're selling this stock right now. So Moderna was a short. Go back to where it is here. So we took it right here as it broke down and broke. This is the 15 EMA, this little red line. We had a dynamic compression zone. We took it right here. We rode it overnight, and we took 33% profit out the next day. Just one, and it was still bearish. You could have stayed in it, but we chose to take it right there because the market was, again, kind of choppy, and it was tending to be a little bullish on the SPY. So we took the profits on that pretty quickly. But you can see here that the institutions, it's obviously telling us the institutions are selling this stock. Amazon, another daily chart, another nice move in Amazon for 32% gain. You can see here that we had green across the board except for the this was the longer term trend, but our current trend, which is right here, the green line, that's the 15 EMA, was bullish. And we took it right here because you can see it came down and kind of popped right off of this 15 EMA. 15 EMA was green, which means it's bullish. We took it right here, 32% profit. We just traded that intraday on Amazon for a nice gain there. And it stayed green all the way over to here, and then you see here it went yellow. A JD, a nice 61% profit in JD. Again, here's the current time frame momentum. This is telling us what the momentum is. Buying right here, this is bullish. Then it went to bearish right here. This is telling us that the institutions are now selling this. They were selling this already across the multi-time frame, and the multi-time frame trend was also bearish right here. So we took it right here, made a 61% profit in JD. We didn't even hold that overnight. We just took that right there during that day. Dollar Tree, another 25% profit right here. You can see the massive amount of selling that's going on here in Dollar Tree. And this is what's so nice about the Compass system. If you're a fairly new trader and you've got the Compass system running on your TOS platform, for example, it also runs on Ninja, you can see very clearly that this is a bearish stock. It doesn't take a genius to see that. And what we were looking for is we were looking for an opportunity to take this on a breakdown. Now it had a little bit of a breakdown here, and we could have actually taken it right here as it broke out as dynamic compression, but we didn't. These candles were pretty small, but when we got here, we took it right here. We did actually hold this one overnight and got a 25% profit overnight. I mean, you can see the institutions that there isn't a huge amount of risk here when you've got this much institution selling going on. Datadog right here, which by the way, we're in long right now in Datadog. This was a break out of dynamic compression. We get yellow and red across the board, so the institutions are selling. We find a nice break right here as it comes out of this dynamic compression. We buy it and we take a 21% profit. So again, you can clearly see what the Compass system shows you here, and how we're seeing these trades as being advantageous for our portfolio. This was Crowd, CRWD, a nice 20% profit on this one. Again, it's a daily chart. You see how we're getting a little bit of choppiness here, going blue, yellow, blue, yellow. But we had fairly solid blue here. The current time frame momentum was moving to the upside. We're getting a little chop on the multi time frame, but we took it when these were both blue, and we took it right here. This was right after earnings. Took it right here, and we grabbed a quick 20% profit to the upside intraday. This is a daily chart. I'll show you some 5-minute charts in just a bit. All right, so that was a nice one as well. Amazon, this is a 5-minute chart. And here's a 5-minute chart. Here's the Compass system on the Thinkorswim on a 5-minute time frame. And you can see here that the stock is moving sideways. Notice the current trend is green. 15 EMA is sloping up, and we took it right here as it gets this pop out of the box symbol. Right here, it popped right here off the 15. Everything except the long-term trend was green. That's all I need. And especially the multi-time frame momentum and current time frame momentum are the key things that I use. And when those things were green and I get a pop like that, we took it, and we took this for 45 minutes. We get in right here, we wrote it up, see everything stayed green. We wrote it up, and for 45 minutes later, we were out for a 32% profit in 45 minutes. So that was an intraday trade on Amazon. Nice trade here at ENPH, another 5-minute chart. Again, see how easy it is to see the institutions are selling this thing. Institutions selling, multi-time frame momentum to the downside, current time frame momentum to the downside, long-term trend to the downside, current trend to the downside, red line. Below the VWAP, this is the VWAP that we have on the system. We want to be trading short if the stock is below the VWAP, and long if it's above the VWAP. That's one of the criteria we use. So here we can see this pop out of the box signal right here. As the stock moves sideways, we get a compression break out of that pop out of the box signal. We grab it right here, and we ride this down for an hour, and we take 20% profit in 1 hour. The institutions are still selling here. All right, Verizon, this is a really interesting one. Verizon is a stock that the options are really inexpensive, and it doesn't move much. I mean, they move pennies. So we were looking at Verizon, and it was bearish on the daily, it was bearish on the 5-minute, and we get this pop out of the box signal right here as the stock broke below this VWAP. So we took this and we made 50% in an hour. This cost us 45 cents for these options. These are 45, they were priced at 45 cents a contract, or $45 for you to buy a call on this thing. And we were in this thing for an hour and went from 45 to 67 cents in just this little move like this. And when you can catch something like that, it doesn't sound like much, but you can buy a lot of contracts at $45 a contract. You know, if you buy 10 of them and it goes from $44.50 to $6.70, you know, if you get 10 of them, you make yourself a quick $220 right there. So that was Verizon. Again, look at this. Look at what the Compass system is telling us. You don't want to be buying this thing for sure. The institutions are selling the heck out of it. And this was a SPY trade. This is a SPY super system setup that I said I wanted to cover. The SPY super system uses the Compass system and the Dominator system in conjunction with each other. to find the very highest probability trade setups. And they don't set up all that much. I mean, they set up, but not, you have to really be watching for them. So what you're looking for is a compass system telling us that you're bullish or bearish. Well, here we've got, you can see it's yellow and red. So we know the 5-minute chart on the SPY is bearish. So what we're looking for is a break. So we see a break right here. See this pop out of the box symbol? And you see how the red line is sloping down. Oops, sloping down right here. So this is where we buy on the compass system for the SPY puts. We would buy SPY puts, or you could buy, you could short the ES or the MES, whatever you wanted to do if you're using futures. But so this is the compass system. Now keep in mind, this is the compass system. There are the selling going on. Now let's take a look at the dominator system at the same time. Here's the dominator system. This is runs on Ninja. Now the thing with the dominator system is you've got a couple things. The background here, the color of this background tells you what the multi-time frame trend is on the SPY. This we're using the SPY. Dark pink tells us that this is a very bearish setup on the compass system, on the dominator system. So we know the market internals are bearish. Now we get a sell signal right here. You see this red arrow? That's the sell signal. That's telling us that the market internals are also bearish. So now I've got a sell signal here on the compass system. I got a sell signal here on the dominator system. That's aligned. This is where we take trade. That's the SPY super system. And you just write it down for a few candles and you take profits and get out. But you can, you get in and get out basically as quick as you want here. But this was a nice little move down. And you can see over here how it moved down to right about here. And then you see it how it started to reverse. When you start getting candles like that, momentum's to the downside is stalled, get out of the trade. So that is the SPY super system. That's what you can find using the compass system and the dominator system in conjunction with each other. Here's one in Netflix. This was a compass system on the 5-minute chart. Notice below the VWAP on the 5-minute. See the selling? We went from buying to selling right here. We get a pop out of the box signal to the downside as we break below the VWAP. We grab this, we stay in this, and we take 20% profit right on this move down just like that. And this was a SPY trade. The SPY trade that we took 3 points and $250 a contract on the SPY. A lot of people that you have the dominator system, by the way, they'll trade SPYs or they'll trade the futures directly off the compass system, off the dominator system. Again, dark pink background, very bearish. Black background, neutral. This green, this bluish green, that was a bullish setup. We went to a very bearish setup here. See the sell signals on the dominator system? This is where we took it right here as a break out of this compression. Took it right here. We wrote it down for 3 points for $250 a contract price. Profit on that. And that's the SPY. And it's most likely was also a SPY super system. I don't have the compass system. I don't have the chart for that. This correspond to that, but it was most likely it would have been a super system trade. This was Tesla. Tesla, which is a long setup right now. This was Tesla. We took short. Notice we went from blue here to yellow. So we go from buying to selling. It was also already selling on the multi-time frame. The multi-time frame trend was bearish. Everything was bearish across the board. And we get a pop out of the box signal right here. So we buy puts on Tesla here, and we ride it slowly down, and then it flushes out right at the end of the day. This is at the end of the day. We took it to short, and we took it out right here for 30% profit on Tesla. And this is a Tesla trade that we took overnight. We do some of these. I like the setup. I liked everything was red and yellow at the end of the day, right here. We were below the VWAP. We had a pop out of the box symbol right here, and the stock looked bearish. The market was bearish, so we took some puts on Tesla overnight. We got in right close to the end of the day, right about 4:15, and then we held them overnight, and you can see what happened. Tesla fell from 120 to 112 on this overnight drop, and we stayed in it till right to here. And I don't know what the percentage was, but the puts went up by about $7 a contract. So there's a big, huge gain in this Tesla trade. And again, you can see the institutions are still selling this thing, still selling it. This side shows, one of the things I use in the room is what's called a Heikin-Achi reversal. And I have a video on Heikin-Achi reversal. Heikin-Achi candles are specific candles. Each Heikin-Achi candle is created by 2 candles. And the reason this is important is if you've got a stock like Tesla and you wanna get in at a break of compression, for example, if you use Heikin-Achis, if you have a wick and a tail on the candle, and then it goes to a flat bottom, that's what's called the Heikin-Achi reversal. And it took 2 candles to do that, which means you have a confirmation of the reversal. So if you were watching it on a regular candles, you'd have to watch for 2 candles. And all I do is just switch to the Heikin-Achi. If I got a flat bottom and the candle closes on a flat bottom, I'm in the trade. And we get in right there, and you notice that the whole way up. You see how this is flat bottoms all the way up on this trade? That tells you how nice the trend is. The Heikin-Achi candles give you a nice overview of the trend. You're not getting a lot of wicks and tails. You get flat bottoms all the way up, and then we get out right here when we start getting wicks and tails. That's what a Heikin-Achi candle does for you, and I do use them in the room. I have a whole video on them, by the way. And this one I just quickly want to show you. This is a QSR. I want to show you how I actually find the trades that are going to be, I'm going to use. This is QSR in the daily. And remember I said the daily chart is the first one I look at. I look at the daily chart to make sure that it's bullish. So obviously this is bullish. This QSR daily chart, you see we got blue and green across the board here. I know this is bullish, so I'm happy to take this long. So the next thing I do is when I'm happy to take it long, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart and I'm looking for the same kind of information on here. So what I'm saying is, where do I want to get into this? So I watch it and I watch it. I know the daily chart tells me I'm bullish. I wait for a break of a pop out of the box signal, for example, right here, pink arrow. Okay, there's a breakout right there. This is where I take it because we're blue and green across the board. Institutions are in here buying the stock. So I go ahead and take it right here. And we ride this thing up, and this is a 5-minute chart, and you can see how nice this move up here, and this is where you get out. You're starting to lose momentum, you take your profits right there. But that's why QSR is so nice. Now, the one other chart that I looked at before I get into this was I looked at QSR on the dominator. So what's the dominator telling me about QSR? Well, it's dark green background, bullish. I've got a bullish multi-time frame trend on QSR. And see this compression right here? This is where I took the trade. This is where I took it here. This is where this shows you where I took it based on where the dominator chart is showing you. Now you notice I don't have a buy signal here. Here's the buy signals in dominator, but I don't have any sell signals. This tells me that the dominator is at least neutral, and I'm comfortable taking that trade when the compass system is telling me that I'm bullish. So I take it right here and I ride this thing up. And if you were more conservative, you could wait for the buy signals. I didn't. I took it out of compression and I rode it up all the way. And if you got it here, you still be making nice profits in it. So there's 3 things: daily chart, 5-minute chart, dominator system. Okay. And this was a quick trade entry in the SPY. I won't go through a lot more of these. You can see what we're doing. This is the dominator. You can see the breakdown here below the 15 sell signal on the dominator. Just go short. And this is another Netflix one. I won't bore you with a lot more trades. So let me just kind of run quickly through some of the stats that I put together when the dominator system first came out. The dominator system came out in October of 2022, last year. So what I did was I had been trading just off the compass system up until then. So what I did was I looked at trades using the compass system only. So these trades from October 1st to December 28th, these were trades I took when I had a compass alignment. I knew the institutions were in there, but I didn't have any dominator alignment. The dominator wasn't against me, it just was neutral. So this would be compass bullish or bearish, dominator neutral. I took 129 wins and 12 losses over that period of time. That's a 90.2% win rate, a really, really good win rate. And to be fair, the market was really favorable for us during this period of time. So these are pretty high win rates, but the market was also in my favor. The compass dominated trades now during the same period of time, I had 113 wins and 2 losses. So fewer trades, but 97.4% win rate, which is really pretty astronomical. But you got to wait for these setups and you got to be very patient. But that's an extraordinary win rate, and it's very difficult to reproduce that all the time unless you got a good market, a good compass, and a good dominator system. But that was what the results were during that period of time. For this year, we had finished April with 19 wins in a row. followed by 10 wins in a row. So I had 29 wins in a row. I think that's the high of the year so far. Investing $2,000 in each of those trades produced $11,200 profit from 29 trades. That was from April 20th to May 5th. And generally, I think the most losses I've had in a row is 3 in the last 2 years. The trading room has been open since January of 2022. It's interesting, the trading room opened in January of 2022, which is exactly when the bear market started. So for the next 16 months, roughly, we traded in a bear market, and we made money every month through that whole bear market. And that's the magic of being able to know what the institutions are doing. I don't care if the market's going up or going down or even chopping. I just want to know what the institutions are doing so that I can take advantage of it. So again, these are the strategies you would be exposed to in the options room in the alert service: straight calls, straight puts, debit spreads using weekly options, and we explain how all of these are done. I got videos on all of them. Time spreads as well. Weekly ATM, there's a video on that. And credit spreads, which we do, and especially in credit spreads, I use mostly put credit spreads in bullish to neutral markets. And of course the super system, which I have a video on that, and that is not alerted. These are not alerted. These are coming in the room only. All right. So that's the tech service. So this is a little outdated now. This was the Compass option trades from 2023. That was up to September. It's up to over 50,000 now, but 54,000. All right. So the specials. This is really a really great special that's available here. The 55% off if you use that coupon. So this is just for the alert service. Use the alert service for a full year, $718 for the whole year. For a quarter, just $296. So really good price on the alert service. And again, you have access to a Discord chat room that we have. You get the alerts, obviously, and you get all the trading videos I have. There's a lot of them, about 25. So that's the alert service if you're interested in the alert service. If this is the trading room itself, if you're in the trading room, obviously you're going to get the alerts. But this is for a full year, $764 for a full year of being in my room. You can be in there as much as you want or as little as you want. It's open every day from 9:15 to about 4:30. And monthly you can actually do it for $148 a month. By saying save 50, this is save 55% to get this the live trading room. Now we'll talk about the software. The software itself, we have what's called the SPY Super System. This is a 55% off holiday sale. Again, use coupon save 55%. For a full year, it's $13.49. This gives you full access to the Compass system and the Dominator system for 1 year. Usually about $3,000. That is really, if you're a serious trader and you want to have the software to let you know when institutions are in the trades and when the market internals are in your favor or against you, this gives you both of those pieces of software. It gives you the Compass system, the Dominator system. It gives you access to the wise way to trade options, we call it. Basically, all my training videos. You get text alerts. You get Discord chat room. So that is a super system. And I think you actually get access to my room also for 3 months if you get the super system. And the Compass trading system, this is just if you want the Compass system. You don't want the Dominator, but you really like the Compass system. You want to see what the institutions are doing. Again, 55% off holiday, say 55% full year for just $1,124 for the Compass system. And a quarter for $598. So $11.24 is really a good deal in this case. And this is just the software for the Compass system. So these are the offers. The Compass system for the institutional trading you can identify, the SPY Super system for the Compass system, and the Dominator system if you're really serious about trading and understanding how we're finding these great trades. That's what you use. And then of course the trading room itself for $764 for a whole year, $148 for a month, and the Compass Options Alert Service, which again is I send these things out with only the very highest probability trade setups, $718 for a year. And again, you saw what we were producing for wins dollar-wise, so you can see that this is really a a really great deal as far as that's concerned. So let me just quickly check to see if there's any questions here. Let's see. Let's see here. Go back to it. Okay. Jim, nice to see you here, Jim. Jim says he can honestly say, right line trading has been pivotal in my trading. He's been trading since 2009 and not once been able to have a profitable year until I signed up for the RLT service. That's really, really good to hear. I'm really happy to hear that. It's really great to hear. Basically, we have a lot of course, people that tell us how well they're done, but I have a lot of people in the room. It's interesting. I've been in the room since, again, January of 2022. I have so many people that signed up in January of 2022 still in the room. And I mean, I'm really proud of that because these people have stuck with it and it's obviously producing for them. So I really think, I really appreciate that. And thanks for the kind words, Jim. I appreciate that. You said you used to swing for the fences, but following the methods taught in the room is the only thing that works consistently. That's what we look for, consistent profits. Waxon, what's the maximum number of trades that are on at any one time? Yeah, that's really kind of depends. I would say typically probably not more than 6. The alert service probably not more than 4, but in the room maybe 6, maybe 7, but not with swing trades. You may have a little bit more if we go in with a lot of swing trades, but a lot of trades are intraday or just overnight, and those come and go. And then there'll be a few put credit spreads and maybe one or two weekly ATMs, but I would say about 5 trades, maybe 6. These percentages assume we close at the same price if the price holds. Well, basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you what I alerted the price on, or what I called out the price in the room, and what we took it off at, because I'm taking the same trades. Obviously, there's going to be some variation in the percentages when you get in, when you get out. You know, if you could be 2 or 3 or 4 cents difference one way or the other. But I'm going by the price that I put it out there at. You know, because listen, when I get into a trade, sometimes I'll put on multiple contracts, you know, 20, 40 contracts, and I'll take off 10, and take off 10, take off 10. But in the room and in the alert service, I'm giving you what I feel is like the best entry price, the best exit price. And I'm taking when I go into a trade, I'm taking it at whatever you're getting it at, and I take them all. To do these same day trades, would I need a day trading account? Right. Well, what I mentioned, Sam, was day trading account. What you're talking about is PDT. If you're trading under pattern day trader rules, then the platforms require you to have $25,000 in your account. But I mean, there's ways around that. If you want them, you can open. You know, you can only do 3 intraday trades in a 5-day rolling period. But some people open up a $10,000 account, a $10,000 account, and then they can do 6, or you can trade cash and do it. But one of the things I do is a lot of the trades I take, you can keep them overnight, even if I get out during the day, because again, I lined them up on the daily chart. They were bullish on the daily chart. So if you're up against the limit of how many day trades you can take, you can hold them overnight. And then a lot of the trades I take are day trades, are overnight trades anyway. Credit spreads are all overnight. Time spreads are all overnight. Weekly ATMs are all overnight. So in all the trades you've got on right now have all been overnight trades. They're all overnight trades right now. So that would not count against you as a day trade. And Lauren, thank you very much. Appreciate it. You like the presentation. I appreciate that. So again, that's the offers. If you have any questions, go ahead and put your name and phone number in the chat box or in the question box or your Skype username, and somebody will call you back. Rory will call you back. There's one more question, Daniel. Do all of my alerts have entry, exit, stop loss amounts? They all have entries and exits. I don't put stop losses. I don't take hard stop losses. I don't put hard stop losses in my trades. I never take hard stops. I never put hard stops in there. Institutions can see them. They can all see you put a hard stop out there. I take the trade off. If I'm going to take it off, I'll tell you I'm going to take a loss on it, and I put through the price to get out at. But I don't have any stop losses in there. Now, individually, you could put, like, I'll use trailing stop sometimes at my own account. And when I put the stock to get out, and I may take some of my contracts off, and then I'll let the rest of them run with a trailing stop. So if the stock keeps going up, it goes up with it. But as soon as it heads back down again, it gets out. But I'm not giving you a stop loss amount when I put it in. No, I'll let you know when the stock, it's just if it's gone against us and when we should get out. Okay, everybody. Well, listen, I appreciate so much you being here and taking the time to listen to the presentation. Again, we've got the Compass system, the SPY Super System, which is Compass and Dominator, my options trading room, and the Compass Alert Service. All of those things, you can take whichever one you think applies to you. So thanks very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Daniel, do I have any instructions on how to enter a trade? Do you use Thinkorswim as a broker? I do not use Thinkorswim as my broker, but we have two professional traders in the Discord room, Dr. No Savvy Trader, and they do use Thinkorswim, and they actually have instructions on entering a trade using Thinkorswim. And you can go in there and ask them, but they actually have some instructions on how to do that. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. All right, happy holidays to you, Kasem. Thanks very much. So listen, everybody, have great holidays. Have a great Christmas, great New Year's, whatever you're celebrating. Enjoy yourself. Nice long weekend coming up. Market's going to be kind of slow for next week, but we'll be back at it hard again in January. So I'll look forward to seeing some of you folks in the room and on the alert service. So have a great weekend, everybody.